The world does Sheamus 515 mean? Will Stardust ever learn the true meaning of Christmas? And why in the world is Adam Rose talking about his rose bush? And at any point during this review, will Google Hangouts give me a big middle finger? Well, the only way to find out, guys and gals, to find out is to listen in on our Raw review powered by Google Hangouts. Hey, YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because it's obviously I'm not, but if you are, prepare to work.
Hi, this is James from the Big Easy, the host of the Who Dat Temple on Twitch.tv and on iVlog, and you are watching WGS-TV. It's good!
Greetings, YouTube. You have worked your way into another episode of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer. I am the WrestleGamer, WB Billy Bujo. Today is December 1st, 2015. Take a second, guys and gals, and think about that. We're already in December. That's unbelievable. Where has 2015 gone? Just food for thought. Food for thought. Anyway, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you want to talk about the WWE, it's gone downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But the important thing is we're still talking about it. We're still critiquing it, which is what we're going to do right now on this week's Raw review. Let's go ahead and introduce the panel, guys and gals, for the Monday Night Raw review this week. First off, ladies and gentlemen, he is the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, the Hardcore One himself, Rickhead. Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, and let me say that Raw was a little bit better last night. Not much, but a little.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's our resident music mogul over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Billy. I do have a question for you. How long have you been playing with Tiny Nikki Bella's boobs?
Oh, God. You saw the Wrestle Crate video, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I did.
Link will be somewhere in the either if it's not in the description, I'll put it up in an annotation somewhere for you guys to check out. But anyway, guys and gals, making his return to WGS-TV, he is the Queen of the Divas, our Diva correspondent, ladies and gentlemen, James from the Big Easy. James, we're glad to have you back. How you doing?
Lance, I'm really gonna hurt you now.
Bring it on, big boy. Bring it on.
Well, as we get to Monday Night Raw, there are a lot of key things to talk about, especially when it pertains to the direction, the way of the show went. Personally, you actually had to catch up through highlights because of if you watched the Wrestle Crate video, I kind of brought it to everyone's attention that there's a family member of mine that's in the hospital because of a medical problem that she's having, and I had to stay with her last night, and by the time I left, it was the start of Raw, and when I got back, it was like halfway through to the middle, around the Sasha Banks Brie Bella match. But I was able to catch up through highlights on courtesy of WWE.com and on the Hardcore Wrestling Radio Facebook page. So Rick, I owe you major thanks for that one as well.
Anytime.
So let's go ahead and talk about the opening. First off, the New Day's celebration of Sheamus's title reign. First off, I never want to see four grown-ass men gyrating in the middle of the ring on television ever again. Rick, if that ever happens, you have my permission to shoot me.
Fair enough. And, you know, that's a New Day. For some reason, they just really like to, I hate to use the term, but shake their booty.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you talk about the New Day, and at first, the inception of their gimmick was really bad. But they've taken that gimmick, and they've really made it their own, and they've really become a truly... Is there a type of a way to say that a heel can be entertaining? Because the New Day is quite entertaining.
Yeah, you know, I'll admit, when they first came out, I'm like, these guys are just going to be a couple of weeks and it's going to suck. But they did turn it around, and they did, you know, they made it their own. And I have to say, for what it is, it's pretty good. On a personal note, I liked the gimmick that they tried to use before, where they were like really bitter and angry. But I think for some reason, for political reasons, the WWE decided to go down a different road.
Well, one can only speculate as to why they changed the direction of the New Day, but as the celebration was happening, guys and gals, Roman Reigns would end up hitting the Superman punch out of nowhere, in quotation marks. That's really more of a Randy Orton thing, but he would hit the Superman punch on Sheamus, knocking him out, and which would then lead to backstage to a confrontation between Roman Reigns and Triple H. Triple H would give him a title match, but with the added stipulation that he would only have 5 minutes and 15 seconds to win the title. And Rick, we talked a little bit about it last night on your show on the Raw Reaction. Just very briefly explain once again, what was the significance of 5:15?
Well, the 5:15 was 5 minutes and 15 seconds was how long Roman Reigns had the title before Sheamus cashed in, so it was a very short time. But of course, as we've seen many times with the Money in the Bank, they quickly cash in and we see people lose. But obviously, they wanted to use that as a storyline, and they've been stacking the deck with Roman Reigns.
Dolph Ziggler taking on Tyler Breeze. Again, Lance, I just don't know why WWE is trying to reinvent Dolph Ziggler as Shawn Michaels 2.0. Now, could he pull it off? I would think possibly in early 90s HBK he could pull off. But I don't think we need to see them reinvent characters that we've already seen.
No, I mean, there are guys in there that kind of fit the quote-unquote next so-and-so. Like, I think James Storm, if they brought him up, could actually be the perfect fit for that next Shawn Michaels. He has his own style, but a little bit like that. But you gotta remember, who is running the show?
Vince McMahon.
Well, who's second in command?
Triple H.
And who is Triple H's best friend in the wrestling business?
Shawn Michaels. And the reason why we bring that up, guys and gals, is considering the finish of the match. It was a super kick, a la Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, and they even pointed that out on Raw. They said shades of Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, so Ziggler would end up picking up the win. Now to MizTV and Lana and Rusev. James, I want to ask you, in your personal opinion, do you think that this was a good idea for WWE to kind of bring in their real-life relationship into their storyline on Monday Night Raw?
You know, it was a flop when they were going against each other anyway. But I don't think that it should have be what this is right now. I don't know if this would work in the storyline. I think this is a bad idea.
Well, I will say one thing though. First off, it's good to see Lana back on TV, because hey, she's a 10 on the smoking scale. I mean, she is smoking hot, and Rusev is a very, very, very lucky man to be engaged to someone as hot as Lana is. Because apparently, I want to say there's every red-blooded American male in this country today that would want to be with Lana right now, regardless. But anyway, Ryback would come out, which kind of confused me to kind of put a sour note on the whole situation on MizTV, which would then lead to a match. Now, as much as I'm glad to see Lana back on TV, they need to work with her on learning how to take better bumps. Let me quickly explain what I mean by that. There was a spot on the outside which would lead to Rusev being counted out, but Ryback would toss Rusev into the steel steps, and the steps appeared, in quotation marks again, to hit Lana, and Lana would go down basically proclaiming that she's injured. Now, whether, regardless or not, personal opinion, Lana should have done a better job selling. It was not a good sell job, in my personal opinion. You know, as much as I love to see Lana on TV, if they're gonna have her start taking bumps like that and doing things where she's supposed to sell that she's being injured, she needs to do a much better job than what she did on Monday Night Raw, because that, and as much as I love Lana, it was a horrendous sell job, in my personal opinion. All right, so that's one of the reasons why WWE has been going downhill as of late. I mean, they really just don't care, as far as I'm concerned.
And here's the thing, but remember, you think about it, Lana has been out for a while, so really she hasn't been in a training mode, so that's why you see the horrendous sell job she did.
Yep. Now, up next, the Dudley Boyz would have a statement for the Wyatt family, and I kind of saw it coming, especially with what they did last week to them on Monday Night Raw and on SmackDown when they would put Bubba Ray Dudley through a table, and I kind of expected it. They were starting an angle between the Dudleys and the Wyatts for TLC, in particular, the tables match that they're going to have. But what I did not see coming, Rick, was the inclusion of Tommy Dreamer. Yes, guys and gals, Tommy Dreamer is back in WWE. Apparently, he's inked out a new deal with WWE, especially since now they're allowing him to wear his House of Hardcore promotional gear and stuff like that, which to me is a very, very smart and sound business decision, in my personal opinion, because now you're advertising on a much bigger scale with WWE than you were with TNA. But Rick, you gotta admit, that was a little bit of a surprise, wouldn't you say, the inclusion of Tommy Dreamer?
It was. For me, it was a shocker on both scales, because I kind of figured at some point after the Survivor Series, there was going to be, the returning of the Hardy Boys. Now, the reason why I suspected that is because there was talks that at the end of the year, the Hardys would be leaving the WWE, and I had that from an inside source. But obviously, that wasn't the case last night, so it was a double shocker for me.
This would lead to a six-man tag of the Wyatt family minus Bray Wyatt taking on the Dudley Boyz and Tommy Dreamer. The matchup would end up getting thrown out, and Bray Wyatt would end up taking a spell through a table. And I got to say, Lance, I really want to see what they do now with this gimmick between the Dudleys, or essentially ECW versus the Wyatts.
Yeah, granted, when I first saw this, when they first said we have family too, I thought the runt of the litter was going to show up. But yeah, good to see Tommy Dreamer, and it was a little bit funny to me because Bray Wyatt's ass went through the table. I thought, well, there is some memes right there.
Oh my God, I didn't think about that. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. So again, I'm really looking forward to what they do with these two. Yeah. Now, Alberto Del Rio and Goldust, really not much to talk about. But I will say this, though, because I never got a chance to do a Survivor Series review or even talk about it. The return of Goldust, he looks to be in great shape for a guy his age. He's got to be approaching his 50s sometime soon, if he's not in his 50s right now. But he's in magnificent shape, and it was good to see him back. But Del Rio just pretty much just squashed him with that turnbuckle double stomp. But that would not be the end of the night for Del Rio. Oh, no. Not by a long shot, guys, and we'll tell you about it when we get to that point in the show, because apparently now we have a new faction, but we're going to have to wait and find out what we're talking about. Lucha Dragons and the Usos. I really don't know what to say about this one, James. You could see the New Day interfering coming from a mile away to make this match a no contest.
And you obviously know why they do it, because obviously you gotta know that they were good dudes. That, so they say that, oh, we're not gonna fight at TLC. Well, triple threat match, TLC for the tag title.
Yep, that's pretty much the whole gist of it as to what happened. But up next we would have Sasha Banks and Brie Bella. First off, applause for the gratuitous Sasha Banks crotch shot on Monday Night Raw. So, yep. Yeah, thank you WWE for that one. I thought they were going to rob us.
Or as HWR calls it, we call it the camel toe of the week.
Yeah, and they ain't talking about the one on your foot either. Anyway, guys and gals, it was a decent match for what it was. Sasha Banks would end up hitting the bank statement and locking it on and forcing Brie Bella to tap out. And all I'm going to say is this is going to be an edit point because the phone is ringing. It's an unknown name and unknown number, and you know what? I'm not even going to waste my time. So don't even worry about that. There will be no edit point here. If it says unknown name and unknown number, I'm not even going to bother.
His unknown answer.
Yeah, they're going to get an unknown answer. Anyway, guys and gals, like I said, it was good, but at least there were no signs, and I know I'm going to get some slack from Lance for bringing it up. There were no signs of Nikki Bella anywhere last night.
Yeah, because you were too busy playing with the little plastic Nikki Bella from the one you got in your crate.
Oh, jeez. But
I
anyway,
thought that was weird.
You are, James.
hey, I can't control what WrestleCrate sends me in the crate every month. Thank you
But
very
you can't
much.
control not playing with their nipples.
I was pointing it out on the video who it was.
Sure you were, Billy. Sure you were.
Anyway, to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, with the stipulation that Roman Reigns only had 5 minutes and 15 seconds to win the match. But we all knew right off the bat that this wasn't going to be a clean finish, James. We all kind of saw that coming. But the formation of this new group, the League of Nations, what were your thoughts on that?
Very interesting on the League of Nations. Oh yeah, by the way, I kind of saw the disqualification coming because they added if Roman Reigns loses, he loses his shot, Dean Ambrose loses his shot, and the Usos loses his shot. You obviously know that Sheamus was going to lose by DQ. But that's very interesting. And someone did point it out. Doesn't it look like the 2000 WWE 2K12 thing that they did?
Yeah, wasn't it called the United Kingdom?
Yeah, but instead of
Yeah.
the United Kingdom, it's all like different countries and stuff.
Yeah, which would ergo explain League of Nations. So again, I don't know. It all depends on how they play the whole angle out. Now, Charlotte and Becky Lynch, which caused a little bit of controversy towards the end because Ric Flair was there, you know, aka the dirtiest player in the game. And at one point in the match, Charlotte would feign a knee injury, which then Ric Flair would then distract Becky Lynch, and then all of a sudden Charlotte would kip up and schoolgirl Becky Lynch to get the win. And we talked a little bit about that last night, Rick, when it pertains to a possible heel turn for Charlotte. I'm not so sure, now that I've had time to think about it, that I would say that this was a heel turn for Charlotte, more like maybe an evolution of Charlotte from being just, you know, genetically superior to possibly maybe becoming the next dirtiest player in the game.
Obviously, they're dipping the carrot and see which way it's going to go and see if the fans are going to follow it. So obviously, she just, you know, right now she's trying to play, oh, hey, look, you know, it's just, it's a match, it's wrestling, this isn't NXT. And it was a good, the way they worked out, it worked out nice. But if you ask me, I think this is going to be a slow turn to a heel. Also, I'd like to point out, which happened earlier in the night, where Ryback came in and, obviously, when he pushed Rusev into the stairs, I thought we were going to see both face turn and a heel turn. Now, if you ask me, I still think Ryback is on the verge of a heel turn, because that was the second heel move he's done in a week. Survivor Series, he pushed the ref. Doesn't seem a lot right now, but again, I think they're dipping the carrot.
It's definitely up for speculation as to what exactly they're doing. Go ahead, James.
Well, the thing is with this one, it's like, it's very interesting. Do you do like a triple threat Team PCB type match at TLC, or do you have like Becky Lynch fight Charlotte for the title instead of Paige? That's your question now.
Yeah, it definitely is a good question as to what direction they would go, because then we would see like a full genesis of Team PCB, you know, starting out as a team and then completely broken up and now doing a triple threat match for the Divas Championship on Monday Night Raw. And guarantee you this, guys, if that does happen, one thing we can definitely say about this, with no Bella present at all in that match, it'll definitely be worth watching.
Yes.
Because we know that all three of these girls can work. And I mean in the ring, don't go in that direction. But
sure you did, Billy.
You said it, not me, Billy.
But speaking of going in that direction, what the hell was Adam Rose doing with that? What was that Rose Bush segment? Does anybody know what that
tell
was?
everybody he needed to shave down there.
I think the WWE is trying to give him like a TMZ gimmick for some reason.
Yeah, on a serious note, I do have to admit it was an interesting segment for Adam Rose, and they calling it the Rose Bush. Yeah, a lot of people can use go in different directions with that one, such as yours truly just did. But in all fairness, I think it's good.
Could they take that?
See where it goes.
Could they take that from being? Could that take that from being a backstage vignette segment into a talk show for Adam Rose?
God, no.
I think right now the way they're doing it works. To have 2 talk shows, unless if they're gonna get rid of MizTV, which is boring as fuck. I think they're gonna just keep it right there because you don't want 2 talk shows on WWE. God knows that they're taking too much time doing everything else but wrestling.
Now, the main event was originally scheduled to be an 8-man tag: Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Usos to take on the League of Nations. But again, this has been a steady night, a steady dose of the deck being stacked against Roman Reigns, which is a typical storyline, creative flow from WWE, because we've seen it countless times, especially in wrestling over the years, where the deck has always been stacked against the face. And right now, Roman Reigns is the face right now of WWE, whether people want to admit it or not. But the way they stacked the deck this time is by adding the New Day into the match, basically making it a 7-on-4 handicap match. Now, at one point, they would stack the deck even further by having one of the Usos injure his knee. I'm not sure if it was Jimmy or Jay, but it was one of the Usos injuring his knee. So basically, now it was 7-on-3. Then the finale of it was like really insane. At one point, Roman Reigns was on the outside, and at first glance, I thought he did something to his knee, but apparently it was his arm. I'm not sure if he super punched the like a post, or if he was clotheslining a post. I'm not even sure what happened. It happened that fast. And Sheamus would then hit the bro kick on Dean Ambrose to pick up the win for the League of Nations. And of course, they would have to end the night with them beating down Roman Reigns, and that's exactly what happened. So. But Lance, my question to you is, where do you see this League of Nations going? Do you see it going anywhere, or do you think this is just a gimmick that they're put together while Sheamus is champion?
Well, I would say I see it lasting till the next Big 4 pay-per-view, but since that's about a month and a half away, I'll give it to Mania. But then they're gonna start seeing cracks and stuff break up. And that's be at the longest. That's what, 5 months, something like that. But yeah, possibly a breakup at maybe Fastlane. But
that at Fastlane, why would they do a breakup at Fastlane? That's not even a significant pay-per-view for WWE, is it?
Well, neither is TLC, but they're doing stuff there, and because I think 5 or 6 months might be a little too long.
Yeah, definitely. James, I'm going to ask you this question. Could the reason that they formed this faction, the League of Nations, was to help put Sheamus more over as a heel? Do you feel that maybe WWE doesn't feel that he could gain or garner the necessary heat that he would need to have to be, well, right now, the top heel? And technically, right now, Sheamus is technically considered the top heel in the WWE. But do you think that maybe they put this faction together to help push him to that level where he needs to be?
I think that's the reason why, is because, Sheamus, he can do it on his own, but really, I feel like this is more for helping Sheamus be that top heel as long as he's champion, and with the help of the Authority, he's going to have this League of Nations. This team is going to help him try to retain that title, and he's going to lose it at a point in time. I think Royal Rumble will be the time he loses it, and then it's going to be a slow breakup within the league.
Rick, what do you think about the other members of the League of Nations, like the Rusev, Alberto Del Rio being the United States champion, King Bear? Do you feel that this faction could actually help improve their overall gimmicks and their overall presence in WWE as well?
Absolutely. I think that's why they put them together. Obviously, it's going to help Sheamus overall as a heel, but considering they're going to be, aligned with the Authority, it's going to make these League of Nations, if they do it the right way, if they execute it,
But anyway, I'm gonna save the worst for last. And what was up with Stardust and Titus O'Neil and the reindeer antlers they put on Stardust? What in the hell? If I had to deem anything the funniest segment of the night, it was that right there. I mean, what the hell was that? I mean, what are they doing now with Stardust and Titus O'Neil? Like, apparently Titus O'Neil has some sort of access into Stardust's universe or something like that. It boggles my mind, guys and gals, but I will say there's kudos to them because it was funny as fuck. I'll tell you that right now. And I can use that kind of language because nobody else is here right now, so... And anyway, guys and gals, overall score on Monday Night Raw this week, it's going to get a 3.25 out of 5. A much better show than what they had last week. It was very interesting to see the formation of the League of Nations faction. And we can all speculate as to one of the reasons as to why the League of Nations was formed. Basically, the WWE would probably feels that they need a faction behind Sheamus more than just the Authority to help him retain it. Possibly a new era for Horsemen. I'm not going to put them in the same vein anytime soon as the Four Horsemen because we've only seen the inception of the League of Nations. So I think to put them in the same vein as a Four Horsemen, as a D-Generation X right now, would not do it any justice. I think we have to see where the gimmick goes, the direction they take it, and how successful they can perform the angle of the League of Nations. So it's only a matter of time. But anyway, best match of the night, I'm actually going to give it to the handicap match. I thought it was probably one of the most interesting matches of the night. With believe it or not, with both the Divas matches in a close second. It was that interesting. You know, especially with the whole situation they're doing now with Charlotte, with the possibility of an evolution of Charlotte's character, whether they turn her heel or not, but maybe evolving her to be more like the Nature Boy Ric Flair. A lot of people would probably disagree with that move, but it all depends on how well they can execute it, you know. And of course, it's always great to see Sasha Banks. You know, you can bank on it as far as that's concerned. As far as worst match of the night, or worst segment of the night, and as much, and you know what, I'm not going to give it to Lana. The worst segment of the night is 4 fucking grown men gyrating in the middle of the goddamn ring. I never want to see that again. Never again. Never again.
Come on, though. You know you'll dream about that tonight.
Hold on. Let me explain. The New Day can get away with it because it's part of their gimmick. Sheamus, you're a grown white Irishman from Ireland. Do not fucking do that again. You have no excuses for that. Anyway, Rick, over to you. Your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week.
Well, considering last week, I don't even think I gave it a 2 out of 5. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'll knock it up to a 3. There was some better matches. The main event match, for what it was okay. But if I really have to say one of the better matches of the night, I got to give it to the Divas matches. It's starting to show that the Divas are getting up to that level, almost to where the male roster's getting. As far as the worst segment of the night, I got to go to the MizTV. Yes, it was good to see Lana back in the ring, but that whole segment and followed by the match just really wasn't the best one of the night.
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, there were also a lot of hecklers in the crowd, a lot of people booing, and there have been some people writing articles on various websites as to, you know, there are some fans that they can tolerate, and then there are some fans who just want to be there to kind of steal the show and make noise and stuff like that. And I think we kind of had a little bit of combination of the both. But anyway, Lance, go ahead, Rick.
Well, I was just talking. You talked about how fans are heckling, and this is totally off the subject of Raw. But I don't know if anybody watched last week's NXT during Eva's match against Bayley. A fan was so interested in that match, he decided to read a book instead of watch Eva.
Today's wrestling generation will just never really appreciate the art.
I'm gonna say this. I would read a book to Eva Marie was on my screen.
Well, yeah, you got a point. Now, however, if it was a bra and panties match, it might be a different story. But anyway,
Say it, Billy.
Yeah, I just contradicted the statement. You know, give a reason to watch Eva Marie on TV. Bra and panties, bring it back. Anyway, Lance, over to you. Your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week.
Overall, I'll give it a 3. Best match, yeah, I'll give it to the Becky Charlotte match. Worst, I'll give the to poor Goldust. He just got jobbed out. Botch of the night, whoever set up the actual card, you gave us 2 ending segments. One, because the Roman Reigns 5:15 should have been the end of this show. Save the tag match for the end of next Raw. And also, how about Lillian's face when Sheamus put his arm around him? She looked like she put the puke all over him.
Yep, but considering how sweaty he must have been after working a match like that, you know, he probably had some.
Still, dang.
BO's an issue. BO's an issue for anybody. BO is an issue for anybody.
Fella!
Especially when it's Irish BO, then it has a hint of Ireland into it. I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
This is where you need
James,
Irish Spring.
Oh God, you were waiting for that one, weren't you?
You set it up,
James. Well, that's why I'm the setup guy. James, over to you. Your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw.
I give it 2.5 out of 5. The Divas match has been improving since Nikki Bella's been gone, but you know, it kind of had set up this Divas stuff. It kind of different. It's intriguing than when they first started the Divas Revolution, and it's working. I just think Sasha Banks should be part of the picture, but I think she dig away for maybe Rumble or Mania for her. Worse, I have to give it to MizTV and Ryback and Rusev. Yeah, by the way, more dry rate because I think I will see that on SmackDown or next week's Raw.
You are a sick individual. But anyway, guys and gals, what we want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week? We definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Be sure to put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Rick, where can fans check you out on HWR?
Well, before I do that, I was talking with Ms. Jack Shit, and she had a statement that you wanted to talk about, that little freaky segment with Sheamus and the announcer, and she pretty much said, well, you know what, his Lucky Charms are not magically delicious. But where you can find me, of course, we're over in our chat room in the groups under HWR chat room. And if you ever want to listen to any of our podcasts, we got tributes, shoot interviews, and much more. That's over on our YouTube page under the name HWR Show.
Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck garment cooking videos, mission equipment reviews. In about a month or two, I will be starting a guitar build series. And don't forget to check me out every Wednesday. I do go live with Lance Moss TV and Friends. It's 8 Eastern. 8 Eastern, 7 Central, I think 5 Pacific. And I never know who's going to show up. Hit me on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV. And subscribe if you hadn't.
And when he's not having the Bay Area MVP, known as Will, locked up in the basement of the Hudat Temple so he can construct naked monuments made out of hamburger meat to him, James from the Big Easy is on Twitch. James, where they can find you at?
You know, Billy, I'm going to hurt you with that duck that I saved for Christmas. Anyway, you know, don't talk about Lynn Garcia, about Lucky Charms. I thought she likes strudels more. Anyway.
Oh.
You can find me.
That was Rick. That wasn't me. That was Rick.
I know. Anyway, you can find me on twitch.tv/fatboy504 doing PS4 gameplay. And you can find me on Twitter at fatboy504.
WGS-TV is on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can ask me questions. Links will be provided in the description box below. And also, don't forget to check out a couple of my Double B Play series, especially a Framebo and Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. You can see the videos in the annotations at the end of this video for you guys to check out as well. So with that being said, for the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head, the incomparable Lance Moss TV, and James the Big Easy, I'm Russell Gainer, Double Bingo and Boudreaux saying we'll see ya at the next Warp Zone. Let the universe illuminate you with the truth and be free. Where are you all going? We continue. It's not any Bella, it's Nikki. Because you can tell by the boobs. Oh God, it's a Nikki Bella.